Hello, this is Zach with a podcast named Tim, and this is Tales from a Space Dumpster, where I review Power Rangers episodes and also rate the monsters. How do I rate them? Well, basically, I have developed a one-of-a-kind rating system. It's 5 different categories we look at. Look of the monster, the powers the monster has, the plan that Rita is using to defeat the Power Rangers or try and defeat them, the success of the monster in executing that plan, and then their voice. Because if you've ever watched Power Rangers, you know some of these people have very ridiculous voices. 5 points is the most you can score in any category. If you add it all up, the best monster in the world that someone could come up with is 25 overall. But basically, we're going to go through the episode, rate the monster. Today, we're doing Different Drum, Season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Episode 5. And the monster is the Gnarly Gnome. So before we get into it, please like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell there, all the good YouTube stuff that I'm sure you've heard from every video you've ever watched. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this episode. We open in the episode Different Drum at the juice bar, as we do most episodes, and a dance class, essentially. I couldn't tell at the first if it was like a jazzercise kind of exercise thing or just a general dance class, but she's teaching a dance class. Billy slips. We get some comedic relief from him. He goes flying around cart. He's kind of filling the bulk role here. And Rita decides that, just like every old man ever, that today's music isn't what music is supposed to be. And she wants to make a new monster to use music to defeat them. She describes it to Finster as a Pied Piper. She wants to, but evil. She wants to hypnotize the Power Rangers and then, hypnotize some kids, capture them, and then basically use them as bait and hostages to then hypnotize the Power Rangers and bring them under their control. That's the idea here. What was interesting is when they go in, Finster actually says he was actually currently working on a different monster. Specifically, he says it's one that would eat cars and smells like a fish. And I'd be very curious to see what that monster would have been like. Whatever that is, maybe that appears in another episode and it's a little Easter egg. I doubt it, but just interesting to note. Should also say that before the teens go off on their wonderful adventure for the day, we do see Zach and Bulk getting into a quote-unquote "you got served" dance battle. Of course, Zach wins because he is the dancer. And but that happens. One of the big parts of this episode is the class that Kimberly was teaching. There's a deaf girl in the class, and Kimberly is signing her how to do the moves and what move is next. They use this. They use this to the advantage, I guess, of the story to progress the story along, because basically it's her and her friends that are being attacked by the Gnarly Gnome, who, when he shows up, he has an accordion, which is a good evil weapon if you want to make something hypnotize and sound bad. He looks like a little dwarf, kind of dwarf goblin monster. He's got like I don't want to say a Viking helmet, but I guess a dwarf helmet with skulls on it. And then sometimes he has a rake for some reason as his weapon of choice. But anyway, so I gave him a 2 for the look. Not the best. You could probably say a 3, and I'd probably go with you, but I gave him a 2. The good news is here he does have good powers. Hypnotizing, he can go invisible. He's got the energy beam, as they all have. But I thought that was a good combination of powers. But again, basically, when he shows up, he hypnotizes the girls, but because the one girl is deaf, she's not able to hear the music, and she's able to follow him to where he's leading the other hostages. And here's where the plan kind of breaks down. So good news is they capture some kids to lure the Power Rangers into a cave. So plan has been executed effectively. The issue is that they somehow, like the girl is just following them, and I don't mean like secretively. She's literally just walking like 2 feet behind them. And I don't know if he thought that she was under his spell or what. That's the only thing I could think of, because if not, it looks really dumb because she's just walking. You would think you'd be able to tell if someone was hypnotized or not, but I guess he wasn't able to. But so that was just weird because since she was not hypnotized and following them literally right behind them, she's able to go warn the Power Rangers, her friends, where they are, Kimberly and gang, and then they are able to come do the Power Ranger thing and start a fight off. But what's interesting is with the girls that they've kidnapped are all doing this weird like circle dance, and some putties are dancing as well. But for some reason he takes a nap. Him and Squat and Babu take a nap. Rita gets angry at this, but they show up, the Power Rangers that is, and I would say an uninspiring fight in some respects. He uses a rake again. I would like to see more of the accordion in the combat. I remember in the video game for Super Nintendo, the Gnarly Gnome was in it. He was on like the second or third level, and I can't remember if he used a rake, but I felt like there was a lot more accordion-based attacks, which I know sounds weird, but it's Power Rangers. And so, but decent. They end up using the Power Blaster, take him out, and then of course he goes big, and they defeat him again. Of course, the lesson of the day is essentially learning how to learning that people who are different than you it's fine that they're different because everyone has their own powers and special abilities. Essentially, it's to promote awareness, I guess, about being deaf. At the end, Jason tries to do some signing. He messes it up completely, but it was a weird episode because I don't know if modern audiences would look on how they treated her, and would they see it as a positive, or would they see it kind of as taking advantage of her disability? I don't know. I thought that I got what they were trying to do as far as we're showing that she's strong, and I don't know. I just don't know how people would react to that today, and I'm never really a good judge on those kind of things. But overall, a decent episode. At the end, I neglected to mention Billy does end up redeeming himself. He's able to dance crazy, even better than Zach in some respects. He busts out some great moves, and it's a decent episode. Where I think we're getting towards some better understanding of what the formula is supposed to be from the writers. But just to run through the Gnarly Gnome and his stats again: look, 2, powers 4. Again, a nice combination of being able to hypnotize them, and the energy beam, and being invisible, although he didn't take full advantage of those. Plan, decent, solid. I would describe this as a very average Power Rangers plan. We're going to kidnap some kids and try and get them to come attack us. But again, the success, all you had to do was figure out that the one girl wasn't under your power. And he didn't really do a good job when he was actually matched up against the Power Rangers. So I gave him 2 for success. And the voice, I thought the voice matched the monster very well. And again, wasn't one of those just over-the-top crazy voices. So overall, 14 for the Gnarly Gnome. That is this episode, and we hope you'll join us next time. We're going to be getting to one of probably the most infamous characters, Pudgy Pig, the episode Food Fight, which probably it's one of those ones I think that just sticks in people's heads. But thank you for checking this video out again. Subscribe, share, tell a friend, all that good stuff. Really appreciate you checking out this. Please comment below and let us know if you think we did a good job of rating the Gnarly Gnome, how you would rate them, if you thought this was a good episode of Power Rangers, bad episode, etc. Any other thoughts, and look forward to seeing you next time on Tales from a Space Dumpster. Thank you.